Here is the Lasko fan that everybody seems to hate for some reason. The studio is an absolute disaster right now. I can't even get to the table. It's not normally going to be like this. The other side of the downstairs here flooded out yesterday. So I had to take all the stuff that was over there and just stash it over here so I could clean up the floor. So we're dealing with that right now. So you'll have to just excuse the mess temporarily. So this is the fan model 2521. And they're calling it black. It looks more like a gray to me, but whatever. Pulls allegedly 0.58 amps. It's actually a lot more power than I thought it would take. So this fan seems to be particularly hated, and I really don't understand why. Sure, it doesn't move a whole lot of air, and it's cheap, but that's like the story of all the fans today. So why this one in particular takes so much abuse, I don't know. I think I had tested this at the store to make sure it actually worked, but now I don't remember, because that video was a while ago now. This came from December's trip to the thrift stores. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and plug this thing in, and there's not too much to talk about here because we've all seen these before. Today is going to be a cleanup day. I'm going to clean up in here, I'm going to clean up in the garage. Alright, the voltage is kind of low right now. It's only 113.4. I'm not sure why it's so low. I do have the garage heat on as well as the heat pump in here, but that's certainly no more than, probably a fair bit less than the Christmas stuff is, and I've never seen it go down that low. Anyways, it's enough voltage to run this thing, so let's go ahead and turn it on. Turn the oscillations off to begin, and we'll go to low. It is operating. Seems to be kind of slow, maybe the bearings are stiff. Nope. That is one thing I will give these newer, and by newer I mean like from the last decade or so, Lasko motors. They seem to have pretty good bearings with an adequate amount of lubrication. It's really kind of uncommon. You come across a 3733 or something like that with a locked up motor. So this is running now on low. It's 41 watts. .36 amps with a power factor of 1. It's got the standard Lasko controls and the motor. So this is really quite quiet. It's not moving much air at all, but what's interesting about this fan is that the air travels far. So it may not be a strong gust right up in front of it, but as you move away from the fan, you can still feel the breeze. And that's kind of why I like these, because I like a quiet fan and I like a gentle breeze most of the time. And so this provides that just fine. And I'm 7 or 8 feet away from the fan now, And it's very, very gentle, but I can still feel the air moving. Okay, let's go up to the medium. It's shaking a lot, but the balance isn't like... It's not perfect, but it's not really beyond what's unreasonable. And that's point, was it? That is 46 watts, 0.4 amps, with also a power factor of 1. And it's still a very weak airflow. It's just not moving a very high volume of air at all. But again, if you step all the way across the room, it kind of feels the same as if you were sitting right in front of it. So it's really kind of weird how certain fans are like that. I would imagine this is mostly due to the guard. Oh yeah, the airflow easily doubles without that guard on. Some of these plastic guards, this one included, are just absolute aerodynamic fails. I think the blade set probably isn't the greatest either, but it's definitely the guard is a severe problem on this. And as soon as it gets any amount of dust in there, it just gets even worse. Okay, let's go to the 3. On 3 it finally starts to push a decent amount of air, but now it's kind of loud. I guess maybe the disappointment is that for a fan this size, a 16-inch model, you'd expect a little more air moving, with more force. Because on the old models, like some of those 16-inch models that Lasko made in the 80s and the 90s, some of those 16-inch models, I would say moved even more air than even the decent plastic box fans at the time, the 20-inch models. Alright, that's 0.46 amps, 52 watts, and a power factor of 0.99, so it's pretty efficient. It doesn't take up a lot of power at all. It's not in perfect balance, but it is reasonable. I don't know, I think it's not that bad. I get why people don't like him, but those same reasons could be applied to just about every fan made today, so I fail to understand why this is a standout. Looks like the oscillations are the working. A little bit of creaking from the cords, so there's too much tension. And the low again. Nice slow oscillation. This is probably a pretty low hours unit anyways, but the bearings are still exceptionally free on this. This is better than most fans of today after you take them right out of the box. And the other one I have is the same way. The bearings are exceptionally good. Okay, that just about wraps this up. And now it's wrapped up. Went back a little bit so you can tell that it's not in perfect balance, but for whatever reason, and I don't understand this, but for whatever reason, hardly any of these plastic molds ever seem to be in proper balance.